Hats off to Eminence and Shadow for nailing the best and most creative perspective shot ever, the thigh gap cross shot. We're like, why? Oh, we all know why. Welcome to November. Welcome to November, everybody. Oh, man. I'm going to get demonetized. Sid has gone and done it. Sid is officially on my crap list. He's now attacking the Shadow Garden girls. I don't like him anymore. Well, I've never really fully liked him at all, but yeah, episode 5 of Eminence and Shadow, second season. Honestly, yeah, this one dragged. I have to admit, this episode definitely dragged. Now, there was one saving grace, and that was obviously with Gamma. Gamma stepping out there and just being an absolute goofball was a real treat. Even though, yes, like usual, it felt like it kind of dragged it out a bit too much with the joke. But yeah, those like two aspects of this episode that really kind of bugged me. It was, yes, technically with Gamma and how they kept using the same joke again. But again, it was still funny. It was still hilarious seeing her kind of falling over and constantly saying how amazing this guy is. And how he just like freaking out because nothing's hurting her. It is one of those things where every single one of the Shadow Garden girls is like super OP. They like have these great abilities. They're super powerful. But with Gamma, it's like, it seems like she has an overwhelming amount of power, and she just kind of stumbles upon people to destroy them, and she can't be harmed herself. So she's just like this big, massive tank that's walking around and falling on top of the enemy, which is really, really funny. But yeah, the other joke is this thing. I didn't quite get it at the very beginning, because it kind of opens up this whole situation with Alpha. They're acknowledging the fact that there's counterfeits out there. They have made the move to get the counterfeits out there, and they're starting to recognize it, which that does technically get into a good joke. And they keep talking about how this group is coming in there, that this group has shown up again. The Clovers are persistent. And Gamma says, let me handle it. Like Alpha's like, whatever, we'll just send a group, we'll take care of him. And Gamma's like, no, let me handle it. They cut her off and they go to talk about something else. And it turns this kind of thing. And the joke doesn't really make sense at the beginning because it's really interrupting on purpose. And then the person going, huh? And then Alpha going, huh? And it doesn't make any sense because Alpha is purposely cutting her off, but for some reason she's confused by herself cutting her off. The later use of that joke makes sense because it's a lot of like, oh, well, I said that the counterfeit is too sharp, and you're saying that it's too dull. And then they kind of pause and go, wait, what are you talking about? Wait, what are you talking about? It makes sense there, but at the beginning, the joke doesn't make any sense. But anyways, I'm getting stuck on the joke. The joke's dumb. And it's, again, a joke they're probably going to beat to death because this writer loves beating jokes to death. But no, Gamma goes and fights these guys, and again, that was really funny because it goes in that fact that Sid has acknowledged the fact that Gamma has an insane amount of stats. I don't know if they've insinuated how powerful she is. Does she have more stats than all the other individuals in the Shadow Garden, or... I would assume that still Alpha is probably up there just because of her bloodline, but again, we haven't really gotten to all of them and how they're interconnected and whatnot, but it seems like it always implies the idea that Alpha has like an insane amount of ability. But based on what he's saying, it kind of implies that, yes, she's the one that seems to have the most stats. She has an insane amount. And it seems like Sid just kind of passed it off like, okay, well, yeah, just go ahead and just do this ability, which seems to be implying this idea of her just doing this big, massive Excalibur attack. Which I'm assuming that's where he got it from. Like, oh yeah, somebody with an insane amount of ability. We'll just make some big, massive Excalibur attack. That'd probably be the best way you can kill somebody. So yeah, that's what she ends up using. But no, like I said, I got a kick out of her. Gamma almost in this scene reminds me of like that mother character that's playing a video game with their kids. And she has that demeanor, like the way that her speech patterns and stuff like that, it just sounds like she's just kind of this mother character that's just kind of in the middle of the battlefield. The kids are all fighting for reals. Like they're all getting their stat skills. They're using their combos and everything. And she's just in the middle kind of going, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, we. It just gives off that feeling that she's just this you're out of place kind of thing. And I think that's what made the scene work so well. Again, despite the fact that I think it's technically it's getting a little close to overplaying that joke. It just worked well. And it's funny because the rest of them like finish off their opponents and they come walking up there. And I'm assuming that one of them was just going to step in and stop the fight because she's just destroying everything, which is obviously why Alpha didn't want her to do it. Like she knew that she's probably going to destroy everything. But I did like the fact that she's like overplaying the guy. Like this guy is extremely skilled. And it's like, no, it's just that you suck. And it's like, nobody wants to say anything. Nobody wants to speak up and say, no, he's probably not that strong. Anyways, this is where we get some insight into Geton. The fact that he is working for the cult. They're noticing the counterfeits as well. They don't know which one's the actual counterfeit. At least we can give Sid some credit for the fact that he couldn't tell which one was fake and which one wasn't. Is that idea of something being too good, being too pristine, that it could technically be a fake, or is the fact that it's a dull one? But no, Geton pretty much revealing the fact that they were planning on, or he was, as a part of the cult, was planning on actually doing the same thing. They wanted to use the counterfeits in order to destroy this banking system. But they wanted to actually get into the MCA first and get their stuff out of there first and then destroy it. Again, this kind of plays in that funny joke that it does bring up every now and then, this idea that it seems like everybody's doing their own thing. In most cases, it is Shadow. Shadow's doing his own thing, and it's messing up everybody else. It's putting them off of their schedule. Like, oh yeah, we were going to do this anyways, but this is kind of screwing it up now because this is moving too fast. Somebody obviously infiltrated us and figured out our plan. It's that kind of thing. But no, it seems like based on a lot of little flashback that, yes, as per usual, big shock here, Sid is also involved in Yukime's past. At some point, Yukime and her family and her village was being destroyed by Geton. Now, it hasn't 100% stated it. I mean, Geton could be somebody that was there and it seems like he was a bad guy, but it seems to imply that he's just this bad, nasty guy that showed up at Yukime's village at some point, killed everybody, and yes, Shadow showed up. The paper-bagged, masked individual showed up and saved Yukime. I'm surprised that she hasn't, like, mentioned Shadow or this masked individual. I don't remember what he called himself when he was... I think he called himself Shadow then, too, when he had the paper bag on. It's been so long. But yeah, everybody's tied into Shadow, obviously. But yeah, apparently Shadow beat up this Geton guy, so he hates Shadow. And yes, of course, Yukime really badly wants to get Geton. She says, once we destroy all this stuff, I get Geton. So I'm hopefully it doesn't turn into Shadow beating up Geton, but I'm assuming eventually we're going to get a fight between Yukime and Geton. And then Shadow will finish him off, obviously. We finally had the return of Alexia. Apparently they haven't forgotten about Alexia. She just randomly shows up again, going on a date with Sid and talking about how she's trying to get strong. It is kind of interesting to kind of the fact that he notes the idea that something has changed in Alexia. She's being much more positive. They're sparring together. She's asking how strong she's gotten. He's picking up on the fact that she's not being her usual self. She's not being her usual, very snarky self. It seems like she's matured a lot. And yeah, I kind of felt that as well. It felt like a very stark contrast to how we've kind of seen Alexia in the past, which makes sense because honestly, Alexia feeling like she wasn't able to help at all. Like her sister's doing stuff, Rose is doing stuff, Natsume's doing stuff. I don't know if she's acknowledging that Natsume's doing stuff, but I pretty much did. But she's seen all this stuff happening and she was not able to aid in any way. So it is getting into that idea of her realizing I need to get stronger. How am I doing? Do you think I'm getting stronger? Okay, I guess I'm not. I need to work harder. She doesn't want to get left behind. It is that idea that no matter how much you sit still, the world keeps moving. The world's going to keep moving forward, and she doesn't want to be left behind this time. She doesn't want to have the same thing happen with this big ordeal that happened during the Bushin Festival. She doesn't want that to happen again. She wants to be a part of it. And that was technically what kind of unfolded. You had eventually at some point, Rose just shows up and just knocks her out. Don't get involved. This is my fight. And if Alexia was stronger, yes, she probably could gotten more involved. She could have helped Rose. So it's a nice little kind of sight to see that she's got that thing that's pushing her. Now, how much is she going to be able to push herself? Can she get to the level that her sister is? Or is she always going to be a background character, upset that she can't do more? The weird thing in this segment was the smile at the end. That was the only thing that didn't really make any sense. I wonder if it is one of those aspects of her kind of knowing that Sid is something. She obviously knows that Sid's strong. But it is kind of one of those weird little moments where she's like, yeah, you're always so, free going. You're always so free spirited. I hope that you can remain that way. Kind of a little bit of relatability there, but it's just kind of that smile at the end of it. Like I said earlier, is like that, does she know kind of thing? Or it could be her being jealous with Sid and not necessarily wanting to show it. Yeah, and they wrapped up the episode with Rose and her two partners and this little kind of spout, them wanting Rose to kind of open up a little more to them, which she's not really doing. She's keeping things bottled up. She's messed up their last missions, and it seems like they're getting frustrated. This is a team, and their teamwork seems to suck because Rose doesn't want to open up. Now, granted, the other one keeps eating things, and that's bugging them too, so it doesn't seem like any of them have really good teamwork. But it's fine. They're like the rookies of the Shadow Garden. You can't expect Rose to have gotten super OP and super in line with the team when she seemingly hasn't been there for very long. But no, they go inside the carriage, and then John Smith or whatever he named himself shows up and uses mana strings to beat them all up. Which again, like I said earlier, I don't like him. I if I had any shred of liking Sid, I'm losing those shreds because he's being up on the cute Shadow Garden girls, and I don't like that. He's turned into the villain, which I should have expected because again, this is his whole plan. He wants to dismantle all of them, Mitsugoshi and the MCA, whatever they are. And it seems like he doesn't want them to unravel this stuff yet. Like, it seems to imply the idea that, yes, you can learn this stuff, but not quite now. Like, I haven't gotten a chance to use my counterfeits yet. That's literally what it is. It's not like you're going to foil the plan that I've set up with everybody and that we're going to get these counterfeits out. It's like, no, I want to do my counterfeit thing and you're getting in the way of it. It's like not even the master plan is not what he's protecting right now. It's literally that he wants to do this stupid thing. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. A lot of talking about counterfeits and dumb stuff, but it was a fine episode. Just a little bit disappointed overall. I hope that we can get past this whole thing. I don't know how many more episodes we're going to have to this whole banking system counterfeit stuff, but hopefully it can move along into something interesting going forward. It'll probably be whenever Geton tries to make his move, because I'm assuming that Geton's probably going to make his move on, I don't know, Mitsugoshi, or is he going to figure out the tie-in through the Lawless City to Yukime and then go directly to her? Hopefully, again, next episode things start kind of kicking up, but we'll see. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 5 of Eminence and Shadow second season. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know what's the thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get on my content and news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support channel more and you like this content, I have a Patreon link, tips, links, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody does, and y'all take care.